Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 6:07. Patrice, Onwuka, and I are having the long-standing, century-old debate, iPhone or Android. She's an iPhone kind of gal, ain't you, Patrice? Yeah. And I'm.
I like I just like the functionality, and I like the sleekness of it. I like how it looks.
Exactly why I like my Google Pixel phone, and it just makes more sense. And I understand. And listen, both companies are evil empires. Okay, try
but
getting.
They make our lives so much more easy.
Try getting a smartphone and having it integrate with all of your apps and all of your life and all of your work, and especially if you work in the media and digital media with podcasting and streaming and writing and publishing and all the things that we do. Try doing that and not having some major footprint with either Apple or Google or both. It's just not going to. I'm sorry, and you're right. I hate it. Wish it weren't true, but you got to live in reality. And Pixels are just better phones than the iPhones. They just are. Objectively.
No. But we will not spend our time here. We've got bigger fish to fry, Larry.
It's 7:05. Matt Schlapp from CPAC will join us, American Conservative Union. 7:35. Friend of the program, Dr. Jennifer London. You hear her on WMAL on the weekends. She's got a new op-ed about America's 250th. 8:05. The sheriff of Loudoun County, Mike Chapman, to comment on Abigail Spamberger. Making his life a lot harder and his job a lot harder. 8:15, we're going to check in with Dr. Oz's office there at HHS about Trump RX. And then at 8:35, Katie Pavlich. Brand new show, Katie Pavlich, tonight on News Nation. And it's a good show. I've been watching it. All right, Patrice Onwuka, good morning to you.
Yes. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. Oh, my gosh, we made it.
And it is a happy Friday for you because the kids are back in school. Was school delayed in Prince George's County today, or everything back to normal now?
No, they're 2-hour delay today.
There you go.
Which disrupts my schedule, but it is what it is.
But at least you're back. And Prince George's County, similar to Montgomery County and Fairfax County, really took a long time to get back up to speed, as well as D.C. for that matter. But now it's been revealed that the leadership of the Prince George's County's executive office during the winter storm at the end of January, while everybody else was sort of hunkered down and preparing for the worst and, hoping that our elected officials and the people holding the reins of government were taking this crisis seriously, making sure power didn't go out, making sure that the roads were taken care of, all the emergency operations. We've now learned that 24 staffers spent nearly $50,000 on 25 hotel rooms, a conference space, $18,000 in AV gear at a hotel over near University of Maryland. They had to go there because an electrical fire shut the main building and filled emergency operations centers with smoke. There's a video of the team posing with county flags and a big backdrop, and even better, they posted a video of themselves in this $50,000 hotel suite that they got and conference center, partying down. Take a listen to this.
Prince George's County, there's only one place you should be during Winter Storm Fern.
Let me just put this in context. There's only one place you should be. Here partying with us in our hotel room. And they posted these dances and stuff up to TikTok. So while you're sitting there trying to strategize, going out there miserable, trying to shovel out your neighbors, shovel out the old lady and disabled person that lives down the street from you, trying to, make your way down the hazardous, icy, snowy conditions, hoping that help is on the way from the Prince George's County executive branch. This is what they were doing. This is how they were spending the time while you were actually trying to take care of your lives and make sure that you were able to struggle through this emergency. Patrice, take it away.
What an embarrassment. This group of aunties, all black women, by the way, are there having a staycation on our dime. You know, the funny thing is they talk about the PG County Emergency Operations Center, the main building being filled with smoke. Okay, but if you know PG County and you know where a lot of the executive offices are and the leadership offices are, there are a lot of very fine hotels like La Quinta, Courtyard. Lots of hotels are, in fact, within walking distances of these operation buildings. Yeah. So why did they have to go all the way over to the nice, cushy hotel at the University of Maryland? I wonder. That's just one piece of it. But bigger than that is the fact that at a time when people are looking for leadership that signals steadiness, competency, seriousness, and agility, the ability to react as needed and provide some calm and information. You got these women acting like, and I will let you fill in the blank for whatever you want to fill it in with, but acting like they are not competent, like they are not serious, like they are not able to provide a steady hand in a serious situation. And then what did we get? We had roads that were not plowed for days. Listen, I give you grace. Couple of days in, okay, you got to wait for the snow to fall. After the ice storm, it's going to take time. A week later, the roads should not have been looking the way they were looking, to the point where on Sunday evening of this past week, we were all thinking, okay, the school says they're going to be open in PG County. They're emailing us, tweeting us, texting us that they're going to be open. And we drove around, my family, and we went to our school. Well, one little pathway was shoveled out, but the roads leading up to the school were no bueno. So I'm saying there is no way in heck those school buses can get up that road to get those schools. We can't drop our kids off either. This is a week after the first snowflakes had already fallen. There was no excuse. There was poor planning, poor execution. I was tweeting at Maryland for the state roads like 450 Annapolis Road, 197. A week ago, Larry, wasn't I on here talking about 197, saying what are they doing with these intersections? Yeah. And to then with the school leadership in PG County and the executive leadership with Aisha Braveboy, I mean, these people demonstrated that they were not ready for the moment. They were not up to the task, and they did not understand the assignment. And I'm using all the black euphemisms and terms that I can, because I want the message to be very clear to everyone that you got to get your act together if you want to actually run the county and be seen as someone who's serious in politics.
Well, Patrice, listen, I feel your pain. I don't live in Prince George's County, but I get it. There are a lot of people who are upset and frustrated just like you. And here's the thing, when you make this calculation, it's funny. Well, I took my family and we stayed at a hotel right near the radio station in case we ran out of power and we weren't able to get in and the roads were bad. We got there Saturday night before the snow fell, and so we could be on the air Monday morning because we had that job to do. And I guess these guys are, well, this is the funny, we private citizens make those choices for our lives with our money, with our budget, with our logistics, because we want to make sure we're there on the job. These guys are claiming, well, listen, we had to get all these hotel rooms. We had to get all together because if we lost power, it would be really, and we didn't have any ability to get into work because the roads hadn't been cleared. That would have been a problem, and we had to be able to work. And you think, oh, well, that makes sense, until you realize, wait a second, these are the very people who are supposed to be responding when the power goes out. These are the people who are supposed to be responding and making sure that the roads are cleared. So it's like, no. You guys are the ones that have to be on the job. You're the guys who have to be. If you need to camp out in your office, if you need to sleep on a cot or on the floor, you're just like, well, we got to be somewhere just in case the roads are bad.
They skipped over how many hotels, Larry, that were literally across the street from their office.
To go all the way over to the border of Prince George's County and Montgomery County because that was a nicer hotel.
On our budget. No, it's wrong.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And they're defending themselves. And here's the thing. They make choices like this and they get away with it because of the arrogance of one-party rule. And no one will challenge them and no one will call them out except a couple of voices like ours. It's 6:15. A little bit more on the Prince George's and other areas around the D.C. area who are still under fire for their lack of response in a moment. Now, Prince George's County is in pretty much the same boat, if not even worse, than a lot of the other counties in the region, in Maryland as well as in Northern Virginia, as they have set aside a certain number of snow days in their calendar as a contingency. and they have used all of them and a little bit more. So now they're looking to adjust their schedule here to be able to make up for those days so that they get at least the mandatory number of days in the classroom. Now, have you gotten a notice yet from them about how they're going to make up all of those snow days for your little munchkins?
Yeah, so 7 snow days have been used, with 5 already built into the calendar, so those are gone. They're going to be taking back 2 holidays, and they may be taking back additional ones and extending the school year. So right now, and potentially using virtual education in the future. So if there's another snowstorm, let's say it's another 3 days of closure, we might lose Easter Monday. That was part of that would have been the tail end of the April spring vacation. So they'll take that back. I think they're taking back like a Muslim high holiday that I didn't even know why we would have that off, but apparently that's being taken back. We will be in school on President's Day. I think they could have taken it back, but I guess they didn't want to.
Right.
And
so
and then
they haven't extended the school year.
The 5 days that snow days makeup would include going to the 16th and 17th, so another couple of days into the next week. So it'll be probably the end of
Patrice,
the third week of June.
I hate to say this, and I don't want to jinx the whole region, but it's only February 6th.
Thank you. I know. I know. Well, that means we may be doing virtual learning, which means you're going to have to get the Chromebooks out to kids and families. You're going to have to get that instruction. I mean, if they had planned, I could go on and on. But yes, that's what we're hearing. And even it was just helter-skelter to understand what they wanted to do. They do hope the state may grant a waiver for having to make up any additional snow days. So we'll see what happens. But
let's get back to Prince George's County Executive Aisha Braveboy. Who a local reporter did actually ask her, said, a lot of people are asking questions about why you spent all this money so you all could party. Again, why are you releasing a video of you all singing Motown in front of the Prince George's County flag while everybody's waiting to hear when school's going to open or if the roads will ever clean up? By the way, part of the budget, $18,000 for the video setup so they could make their viral video.
Somebody's cousin who does videography just got a nice little contract. That's
use the aforementioned iPhone like the rest of us, or a Pixel. Take your choice. All right, so here she is defending herself.
But the stay here is being criticized by some community activists in part because of this video Braveboy and her team released urging people to stay home. Critics on social media have called that video tone deaf.
Pause. I missed this because it was incoherent. I couldn't understand the lyrics. The whole point of the song, they were singing to encourage people to stay home.
Yeah, when I think of home or something like that. Yeah, when I think of home.
You needed to put together a big video of a bunch of tone-deaf women who can't stay on key to sing "Stay Home." By the way,
how long did it take for them to practice the dance moves?
Thank you. Well, not very long by the looks of it. If you look out the window, here's the thing. If they came to me, if I was the county executive of Prince George's County, if I was Aisha Braveboy, and they said, "Hey, Aisha Braveboy, we want to put together a video of all of us singing and dancing." Oh, really? Why? Well, it's a public service announcement. We want to make sure everyone in Prince George's County knows to stay home and not go out. And I'd be like, okay, look out the window. Look at the ice. Look at the snow. Look at the roads. No one's going to go out. And if they do go out, screw them. They're idiots. We don't care. We're not worried about them. All right, maybe I wouldn't say it exactly like that. But they cannot rely on people's common sense to know that, hey, maybe the best thing is to not go outside right now. Because guess what? Most people didn't go outside because of the snowstorm. All right, let's get back to her defending herself. My brain is exploding over this.
Critics on social media have called that video tone deaf as citizens were stuck at home dealing with a serious storm.
Were you all partying at the hotel?
No. In fact, you have my schedule. You'll see it. We were up at 7:30 in the morning.
According to hotel invoices released to 7 News at our request, the total cost was just over $43,000 for 3 nights, including 25 hotel rooms at $149 each.
All right, enough.
A conference room.
You have my schedule. Yeah, because a person's schedule could never be falsified or made up after the fact to make it look like you were working. And I'm sorry, we were up at 7 in the morning. Excuse me, I don't work for the government, and I was up before that.
Oh, 7 a.m., Larry. Oh, I look at the clock right now. We've been up since we've been at this since 4:30 when we had our meeting.
Well,
much more, and we're not the county executive in the middle of a snowstorm that was going to shut down the life for how many thousands of residents. Come on now.
Even if I weren't broadcasting, I would have been up earlier than that to make sure that the power was still on, to make sure that my neighbor needed to get out of the house.
With the state.
Yes, exactly.
With the educational boards. I mean, these people are unserious. Unserious.
Every single parent was up before 7 in the morning waiting to see if school was going to open or not, or whether it would be on delay, or taking care of their kids because they weren't going to go to school and coordinating with work. I was working at 7 o'clock. I swear to God. And again, Patrice, she will feel no repercussion for it. This is the worst of it right here, what you're hearing. This is the worst of it for her.
When I put my signs out in my yard, people do not get upset with me. Go get upset with Aisha Brave Boy.
It is 6:25.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
6:37, O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here. Busy Friday morning, but we got you covered. 7:05, Matt Schlapp of CPAC. 7:35, friend of the program, Dr. Jennifer London, about America's 250th. 8:05, Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman, about Abigail Spanberger, making his job a lot harder. 8:15, Chris Klomp works with Dr. Oz there at Medicare and Medicaid Services. Talk about Trump RX, released yesterday. And then at 8:35, Katie Pavlich. Old friend Katie Pavlich, now the host of her brand new News Nation show, Katie Pavlich. Tonight, terrific. It's Larry O'Connor with Patrice Onwuka. Good morning, Patrice.
Good, happy morning. Yes, it's not the top of the hour, so good morning.
Look at you with your New Year's resolution. All right. So we're just talking about Prince George's County. Let's turn up to Baltimore here. When last we checked on the mayor of Baltimore, he was calling a reporter racist. Cut 10 here.
Well, you looked at... I understand that. I did answer the question. Just because you didn't get the answer that you wanted in your racist slant, that's one thing.
There you go. That would be a question about the fact that they spent nearly $200,000 on a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee Wagoneer. With armor, special armor and everything that he compared to the Beast when the previous mayor's car was only 2 years old.
Well, he does live in I guess he moves around Baltimore a lot, and he's thinking that life is like the Wire.
Governor Wes Moore's vehicle is cheaper, like half the price, and he goes across the whole state. This guy needs to drive across town in Baltimore. By the way, he can drive his own car. He's like, wow, I can't drive my own car. Are you kidding? You seen crime in Baltimore? I can't drive my own car. It's like, dude, okay, we have seen crime in Baltimore. You're the mayor. All right, and then he called the question idiotic. Cut 11.
We heard your question. You've asked the same idiotic question now for 3 months.
There you go. Yeah, because there hasn't been an answer. All right. Then we just found out that his baby mama at the time was getting like hundreds of thousands of dollars in city grants for her nonprofit.
Oh, goodness.
Without disclosing that she was dating the mayor. We got that. And now we've got this one. Baltimore City Public Schools. This is according to Maryland Delegate Kathy Shalega of Baltimore County. Have numerous high schools where none of the kids are proficient in math, and I mean none. That not like less than 10%, not less than 5%. No, the number is 0. And this is multiple high schools in Baltimore City. Multiple high schools test their students for math proficiency, and multiple high schools have come up with 0. And yet, they have now instituted a brand new transgender and gender identity training and educational program for the students in those very high schools where there are 0 students that are proficient in math.
Wow. Yeah, well, I guess they've given up on these kids becoming actual productive citizens who can hold a job, start a business, maybe manage their own finances responsibly to be able to save for a down payment and buy a house one day. No, they've given up on them. They're just kind of just turning to, whatever, their gender, sexuality is all about. Let's just lean in there so that they can continue to copulate and have lots of kids that go on the state budget. Well,
no. The good news is they're not copulating and having children. They're copulating, I'm sure, but not having children, because this is all about the LGBTQIA plus agenda.
You would be surprised, Larry.
Well, I guess that's true. And specifically transgender. Yeah. So Baltimore City Public Schools hired outside consultants to train the teachers on how to instruct the students about so-called gender identity activism and politics. They've gotten hundreds of emails now have been obtained through a public information request. This is according to Fox Baltimore, WBFF. The records show that the city schools hired Advocates for Youth and Healthy Teen Network to train teachers as a part of its participation in You Choose, a federally funded program aimed at reducing teen pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections. So we're going to reduce teen pregnancy by having you cross-dress and identify as the opposite sex. And, oh, by the way, the consultants that were hired have on their websites and in their materials information that say that children can be transgender when they're as young as 3 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
That a 3-year-old could be identified and encouraged to explore their gender identity that is opposite of their actual biological equipment at 3 years old. That's Baltimore.
It could get worse. It could get better, or it could get worse. And it gets worse here, Larry. We've got here another article showing reporting on this. Baltimore City Health Department held racially segregated equity meetings. So let's take this out of just the educational context and broadly to Baltimore City government, what they're working on here. The Baltimore City Health Department separated employees by race for a series of taxpayer-funded equity meetings, Larry.
You got a problem with that? I mean, it's the epitome of equity instruction and education by separating anybody by the color of their skin, right?
Well, you tell me, folks, if this makes sense to you. Records show the agency paid outside consultants to conduct racial equity training, then advised them to host separate, quote, white caucus and, quote, people of color caucus meetings. The practice was carried out inside the city government, funded by public dollars.
Patrice, I have a guideline. I have a guideline that I always use, that if you're about to do some sort of a group activity at the workplace, at your church, at any sort of social gathering, and you then say, hey, everybody, let's separate and go into separate rooms based on the color of our skin. At that moment, you've done something pretty racist.
You have. At that moment, you get up and you walk out.
Yes.
That is what you do. You get up and you walk out because it's divisive. It's discrimination. It is racism happening live. Now, you and I, we are a good example of what America has been moving towards. We've been trying to move towards. I'm a black woman. You're a white man. We agree on a ton of things. We disagree on some things, but we work cooperatively. There is not a white man meeting and a black woman meeting. And there should not be, because in a society where that happens, that's the kind of society we don't want to live in. We fought a war over that kind of society, and now they're trying to bring us back to that place again.
Well, it's funny. I appreciate you saying that. I actually approached the mayor of Baltimore with those same thoughts that you just conveyed, Patrice, and his answer to me, it can be found in cut 10 here, Michael. Here's what the mayor says to you about what you just had to say.
Well, you looked at... I understand that. I did answer the question. Just because you didn't get the answer that you wanted in your racist slant, that's one thing.
There you go.
Oh,
Patrice,
my slant is racist.
Yeah, you're just racist is the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. It is 6:45. That's right. And later in this program, we'll speak with Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman at 8:05 about the same thing in Virginia. It's insane what these Democrat governors are doing. All right. Meanwhile, what is also insane is if you're on the fat shot. I do love that Trump calls it the fat shot. Everyone calls it the fat shot now. Ozempic.
So can you say the word fat again?
GLPs. I think we are. I think we're allowed to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
The GLP-1s, the various different, and again, I know that all these prescriptions have some level of side effect, but honestly, I've seen this thing. I've looked at it, and I know people who have just seen it as a godsend, and it really has made a big difference in people's lives. Well, yesterday with the announcement of Trump RX. which is now the Trump administration's attempt to get a handle on the costs of prescription drugs. If you have any interest in the fat shot and you were stopped because of the prohibitive cost of these things, like the Wegovy pen had been $1,300. The Ozempic shot had been $1,028. Well, check out these prices. Wegovy pen now under Trump RX, $199. Yeah. $199.
Wow.
The Ozempic
and these are
under
brand
Trump
names,
also
not just
$199.
Generics, right, Larry?
That's right.
Yeah.
So listen, I haven't dove deep into this. We're going to get a breakdown at 8:15 from someone who works with the Chris Klomp, who is the director of Medicare and deputy administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Who's eligible, how it works. By the way, some people were criticizing, saying, "What? It's just the same as GoodRx. What's the problem?" And then because they did a side-by-side comparison, and then the Trump administration responded and said, "No, actually, GoodRx's prices have come down because the Trump administration negotiated with them." So the reason that you're seeing the same prices on GoodRx is because Trump RX negotiated with them to force those prices down. My own father-in-law, actually, he said he's already tried 2 of his prescription drugs. He's on a few that are really expensive, but some of his even more affordable ones. He texted me on this. He said, my insurance paid $9.10 for one of these drugs. He just got it on Trump RX for $3.15.
Wow.
So $9 isn't going to break the bank, but that shows you the percentage of savings there. We'll get more updates. So that's pretty good. I don't know what the secret sauce is behind this thing, but we'll ask the guy from Dr. Oz's office.
Yeah, I do know some conservatives. They're itchy over this because it feels like price controls and the government being more involved in the prices that people are paying. I don't have a dog in that fight. We look forward to talking, though, with the HHS undersecretary to talk more about it.
And my instinct is to say that, too. But at the same time, here's the thing. Yes, conservatives are right in saying that this is the government meddling and they're doing price controls and we want a free market. But here's the problem. They have to face the political reality of how maddening it is that you pay $1,000 here in America for a drug that over in foreign countries in Europe, they're getting for $20 or $50. And the pharmaceutical companies do nothing to fight for you, and they just assume, well, Americans or their insurance companies will pick up the tab, or the government will pick up the tab. So,
and that's the problem. That's what's driving costs higher and higher and higher and higher. It's a cycle. Yeah.
That's right. So I get it. I want to live in a pure free market situation as well. We don't. And you have to deal with the political reality of how maddening it is and how heartbreaking it is for people who can't afford prescription drugs. But if they lived in Canada or if they lived in France, they'd get it much cheaper. 654.